in regard to scholarship money, I'm pretty blessed to not really have to worry about that because I have the GI Bill, which I can apply with the Yellow Ribbon program, so that's not too much of an issue for me. So with the scholarship being like the most common thing I hear about, or rather being one of the biggest factors in deciding a law school, since that isn't necessarily pertinent to me, I was struggling with like, okay, so what should I consider in a law school? Because right now, and especially with COVID and my financial situation, I don't have the money to be able to go, and explore all these different schools. I suppose I could call and talk to them, but yeah, I'll figure that out. I'll do some self-reflecting and think about what I really want out of the legal profession. And maybe even, I guess, visit some lawyers here in my town, because part of that, I think, stems from the ignorance of not really knowing what different types of lawyers actually do, because the brochure version somewhat differs than what they do, especially for, as I've come to realize, for corporate law.
Right, naturally. So in that case, I would suggest if scholarships are not relevant to you, given your particular situation, then regardless, a higher LSAT score can serve you by allowing you access to better schools with better employment outcomes and perhaps more specific tracks towards the clerkship route or the academic route, if that's where you want to go. Certain schools are feeders to those programs. Others are feeders to big law. And this is just anecdotal, it's coming to mind for me right now, but I believe that UChicago and Yale Law those two schools in particular may have a more direct path towards what you're looking for rather than the big law corporate route. But of course, do your research, talk to alums. That's just what I'm guessing off the top of my head based on my general associations with those schools and those particular outcomes. But you can also go on sites like Law School Transparency, and they've crunched all the numbers. Again, that's Law School Transparency. They've crunched the numbers, and they've looked at the ABA 509 reports that talk about employment outcomes, and they can tell you what percentage were employed after graduating, and then where did they end up specifically. So I'd say that's probably your best route, and you don't need to think too much about who's offering you money, but still higher score, higher numbers will get you access to better options and more options. Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.